Hey everybody, this is Rob Vegas, and of course I'm checking in from Melbourne, Australia, and we are back with another one of our movie chats here as part of Movie Month in October 2023. Of course I did take a break there as we cranked out a ridiculous amount of movie chats and had to take a break, but we're back, of course, and on a roll, as it were. Now, some people might think that, looking back, and especially if you grew up during them, that the 1990s were kind of a bit drab, and like a lot of the music, like you'd have all these bands singing sort of songs about introspection and being depressed and stuff like that. But hey, I gotta say, the 90s were pretty damn awesome if you knew where to look. And at the time, being a teenager in the 1990s, there was a lot of great stuff and, a lot of cool things going on. And one of those was, of course, action movies. Now, if you ever went down to your local video shop, you used to be able to get like 5 videos for $5, like on rental, and you'd do your paper round during the week, you'd have your $5 ready, or you'd get your videos, you'd have money left over from the paper round, you'd get like a bag of chips and a bottle of soft drink and everything like that, and a chocolate bar, and just watch movies on the weekend, hang out, play guitar, all sorts. So it was always a good time. And the action movies, there were all these big stars, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, all of it, and there'd be new movies from them at the cinemas and on video, so you'd be able to just get an action fix every weekend. And if you're able to, use your money to go to the cinema, you'd be in for an extra treat as well, as it was non-stop action. And yeah, we're here to talk about one prime example of that today, which is the 1993 action film directed by Hong Kong legend John Woo. This was his first film after he'd been directing action movies in Hong Kong for decades. And his first film in the United States made there was Hard Target. And who better to head up the movie than Jean Claude Van Damme, one of our awesome 1990s action superstars. Now, of course, Jean Claude Van Damme had starred in a ton of movies like Lionheart, Double Impact, Kickboxer, Bloodsport. The list is endless. Universal Soldier, the lot. And you get Jean Claude Van Damme, the muscles from Brussels. You get John Woo, Hong Kong legend. You get Lance Henriksen. You get Arnold Vosloo. You throw them all in the mix together, and boy, you're in for a hell of a good time. Hard Target. Absolutely mind-boggling stuff. It's your sort of old twist on a Most Dangerous Game sort of thing, where Lance Henriksen and Arnold Vosloo are the bad guys, and they run this sort of rich man's game where they recruit people to get who pay them like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that to hunt people down and kill them on the streets of New Orleans. And they run afoul of Jean Claude Van Damme, and I tell you what, that's all you need to know about the plot, as it gets set up, really well. Jean Claude Van Damme gets to showcase some of his martial arts to the max. And of course, if you want big spin kicks, ridiculous action, this is basically your one-stop shop. And this would have to be one of the best action movies to come out of the 1990s. And that's saying something, because I tell you what, as I mentioned before, the 1990s were packed with great action movies. Jean Claude Van Damme plays an out-of-work sailor sort of guy who's roaming the streets of New Orleans, and he encounters a lady who's played by Yancy Butler, and she's on the lookout because her father's gone missing. And it turns out her father, who's a combat veteran, was recruited by the bad guys and hunted down as part of one of these illegal manhunts, and he was killed in in that hunt. And Yancy Butler, she's trying to piece together the clues and find her father. And it turns out these bad guys are recruiting other homeless veterans with military experience to hunt them. And they apparently have been doing this over the world, like in different cities and everything like that. And Yancy Butler recruits Jean Claude Van Damme to help her get through the rough parts of the city to find her father. And of course the trail goes cold when they find out he was killed. And one thing leads to another, and Jean Claude Van Damme becomes the hunted by these bad guys, and all hell breaks loose on the streets of New Orleans. And well, if you have not seen this, you're in for a real treat, as this really showcases Jean Claude Van Damme at his finest. Like, he's so fit, and his stunts are just so visceral, and the fight scenes are just like, you can feel every bone crunching kick and punch and everything. And yeah, the bad guys basically, they get sent home with their tail between their legs at the end of it. The action is absolutely spectacular in this, from go to woe, and you are really in for a fantastic time. The music in this movie is awesome. It gives you that real deep down, New Orleans southern sort of slide guitar feel, and yeah, it really immerses you in the action. And the cinematography and the direction from John Woo is absolutely stellar, and every action sequence in the movie, and there is a ton, like I think there's like a few little action beats sprinkled throughout the first half of the movie, and then it gets to this one point where it just steps on the gas, and it is non-stop carnage from this point in the movie till the credits roll. It really dials it up to about, I'd normally say it dials it up to 11, but this dials it up to about 27. It is really awesome if you love your 1990s action movies, or just action movies in general. And like I said, Jean Claude Van Damme is peaking on this. He is so good in this movie, and John Woo, the director, knows how to film him, and they must have just had like a rap. Like, they're just like going, yeah, dude, let's make this like so. And Jean Claude Van Damme delivers the stunts and the karate or the kung fu or whatnot, and it is spectacular. The rest of the cast, of course, you can't have a great good guy without a fantastic bad guy, and of course that's played by legendary character actor Lance Henriksen, who's famous, of course, for many parts in movies like Terminator and Aliens. And he plays a wealthy sportsman who, of course, runs this business where he's hunting he's hunting former soldiers that are homeless, using his crew. And yeah, Arnold Vosloo, who's famous for his turn as Imhotep in The Mummy, and also Zartan in the G.I. Joe movies. He plays a right-hand man, as it were, of Lance Henriksen's, who's quite an evil character, and they get up to all sorts of mischief along the way. And like I said, you throw in all these ingredients, get John Woo to stir it up with his Hong Kong know-how, and yes, you're in for a fantastic time. I know I'm throwing them out like chocolate bars at Halloween, and candy and lollies, as we call them here in Australia, or sweets and lollies. I'm throwing them out. But yep, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 on the Rob Vegas movie scale. This is fantastic. And yes, very enjoyable, very noisy movie with a ton of action, stuff blowing up all over the place, lots of guns going off, lots of karate, lots of spin kicks. man, you've come to the right place if you've got this one on DVD or wherever you watch your movies these days. I can't recommend this enough if you love that kind of thing. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Hard Target and what you think about it. And of course, if you haven't seen it and you're planning on watching it, let me know. And yeah, when you get around to chucking it on, I'd love to hear what you say after watching this for the first time, as you're in for a real treat. Anyway, hit it up with a big old thumbs up, like and subscribe and all that. And everybody stay tuned, and I will see you soon. Thanks everyone.
Crystal Ball says like and subscribe and leave a comment.
Yeah, it's raining a bit outside, isn't it?